Morning, everyone. A few more minutes and then we're in the afternoon. My name is Shawn Moniz and I'm the CEO of Cannabis MedTech. We're a cannabis data and analytics company. The next few minutes are going to take you on a bit of a journey on some observations we've had in the cannabis space and what we're gearing up for 2019. So this is what the analytics and data behavior looked like coming into this year. If you ask yourself what was here last year, trend analysis. That was it in the left. You didn't have enough information for big data. You didn't have any players with AI. Didn't have machine learning because all those tying together, you had one. But if you look at the trend in the industry and why DMG, companies like ourselves, BDS Analytics, why everybody is talking about these companies, even Headspace with Canopy River's $4 million injection into them, is because this is the next wave that we're seeing in the cannabis industry. It's not about cultivating. It's not about your 500,000 square foot facility, your 5 million square foot facility. That's done. That was 2018, and now it's a race to the bottom because it's commoditized. You're looking at $7 a gram, $6 a gram, people coming from the States at $1.25 a gram. So where's the actual value for investors in the cannabis industry? And that's what I'm hoping to show you here today. So as I mentioned, the industry was more of an agricultural type of industry mix where you had people with greenhouses. Then the concept of, do you grow outdoors, do you grow indoors? There was a small number of LPs. There was about 48 to 52 LPs in 2017. Now we have 155. With all the restrictions in marketing and advertising from Health Canada, how's one LP going to distinguish themselves from another? So you start looking at the design of dispensaries popping up in the US, Canada. They look like Apple stores. Very sleek, very high on branding, providing them that experience. So you're seeing a shift where you used to buy something online, what looked like an antiquated website, you get it shipped by Canada Post, and everything is switching into digital. It's not mass marketing, it's getting more into that CRM type of marketing, that one-to-one. But what's bridging that gap between the two chasms is data. And so now you have products that are not just dry leaf, oil, and vaping. You have products coming out that are topical creams. You have CBD patches for athletes. You have hemp products, beauty products, pet products. The world has changed in the cannabis sector. And what we're seeing is all that data that people may not have had interest in last year, they're coming back and saying, hey, you guys had all that data stuff. Can you kind of explain it to us? We need to really understand who that 20% of our market is that's driving our 80% of revenue, because marketing dollars, they're not limitless. They're not making the margins per gram as they used to last year. And now at a time where the focus is critical in understanding who your customer is, customer behavior and data analytics is key. Next one. So we look at the early adopters. You may say, well, that may happen, may not happen. Look at what's happened in the last 3 weeks alone. You're looking at Canopy Rivers, and look at the words that they're using. Technology is a horizon layer underpinning the entire industry. Understanding customer trends. $4 million investment in early January. Afria partnered up with another data and analytics company in Toronto. Customer-centric, brand and technology solutions. Brands again, engaging customers. You're seeing that they're trying to tie their product to understanding who their customers buying that product is. It's about engagement, it's about learning about what that person looks like, because now product is not flying off the shelf. You may have a shortage of supply here now, but again, with 155 LPs, how do you distinguish yourself? So for us here at CanTech as investment conference, you start looking at the trends. And you can see the last 5 years, you're looking at a yield optimization. Bigger square footage, how can you keep your costs down? You have all this great tech that's even here at the conference to monitor your watering, your lighting. The reason for that is to drive down the cost as much as possible. And that's where the data was before, monitoring sensors for the last couple years. But now we're in this shift. It's a bit on that hockey stick where you're starting to see, and again, those two companies, millions of dollars in cannabis analytics, we're at that cusp where the data shift is happening. It's not about yield optimization. It's turning it into a retail space. It's turning it into branding. It's turning it into knowing who your customer is. And we're right at that peak, and we can already see the trend happening. So a little bit about the company that we built. We've been in the market for about 1.5 years. And I put this comparison on how the structure is, because we're not reinventing the wheel. We're not something that's building on rocket science and space age. We're taking existing models of companies that have made it as technology companies and applying the same formula for success. So our business technology company, harvesting analytics. So how do you get analytics? You build products. You build products that people need. One of our key products that is out there is a cannabis education platform. It's free for end users, whether you're medicinal or whether you're recreational. It's free to use. It's physician-backed. It's a medical advisory board. It's teacher-approved. We have 2 teachers that wrote curriculum for the Toronto School Board of Education that are on our staff. They take that content and they divide it into modules. So it's an online experience that's curated. You take it at your own pace. You go through the information. It's not reading article on this and article of that. They take you right from that journey of what is cannabis and can it even be right for me, and they walk you through that. So that's why our content is key. We build a white labeling solution. A lot of LPs and dispensaries like having that arm's length third-party company that gives them that education. So what MAD is to the alcohol sector is what Cannvas is to the cannabis education sector. So we partner up with LPs and dispensaries where they give not only medical patients but recreational users that education that is sorely needed, and that was the biggest gap of 2018 as we bridge into 2019. We have a pet platform that is launching geared towards the US market. Again, starting that conversation of knowing, is cannabis even right for your pet? Do you put 5 drops or 10 drops? What's the CBD versus THC content? Nobody knows. You talk to a veterinarian, they say, well, I'm not going to advise you, but you may want to start slow. But there's no evidence. There's no research that's coming out with a firing hose, which is why we're teaming up with veterinarian clinics and clinics that are doing pet research to provide that education. It's a free platform. You don't see any product on the human education platform or the pet platform. That's how we stay non-biased. We have a kiosk program that's rolling out in malls across Canada. It's educating people and looking at those demographics of who is interested in certain malls across the country to see if maybe a dispensary should be right in this mall, strip mall, or amalgamation of stores. And it all boils down to Cannvas data in the top right. So you can see it's not rocket science, it's not something new that we're trying out in the industry. We've been a company that's maturing over a year and a half, and all these products are revenue producing, and all these products are in market. So we're not trying to ride the wave where we're seeing that shift. We already are in that wave. And a little bit about my background. You may say, great, well, that's what the company is. Well, what about you? So my background is exactly this. This is my bread and butter. So for the last 5 years, I worked for Click Health, a health services agency. We worked with Big Pharma, AstraZeneca, Tylenol, Bayer. We built customer-centric and patient-centric platforms, HIPAA compliant, PIPEDA compliant, all that data security. Before that, I worked with Pitney Bowes building out their geospatial technology for 9 years. So it's marrying the data technology with the pharma space, and before that was all branding. So you bring all that experience together, and that's what Cannvas is about. And luckily, I was able to bring almost 50% of our current staff from each one of those companies. So it's people who have been in the space, people who know the space, people that you can trust that are building the products that you already see in market. And some of the verticals of our clients and our clients kind of speak for themselves. Palliative care units, hospitals, dispensaries, licensed producers. We have a product for each one of them. And that's that spiderweb effect that you saw before, where you have 5, 6 different products and you're pulling in data analytics, and now you're seeing demographic and firmographic information, and you're learning about user behavioral trends. It's not one platform that you try to market and say, everybody come over here. Google didn't do that. They have half a dozen products that everybody uses every day, and out of their suite of 18. And what does it do? It pulls analytics from everywhere, which is why Google AdWords is the #1 in the world, because they have so much information on you. And the company that owns the data owns the market. And you can see for our client roster for a year and a half, that's not bad. So that's it. That's a bit of a story of how the industry is shifting and how we see more than ever cannabis data and analytics is at the forefront of what 2019 are going to be. Does anybody have any quick questions? I think we got about a minute for them. Sure. So in building the company, we knew it was a bit of a race to get in early, because knowing that data and traditional marketing is going to come, we wanted to be there earlier. So what we did is we raised funds on the public market. We did not take a penny from any LP or clinic. We raised it from family and friends, people that believe in us, that have built the company, and even the experience in the background. We went public July 3rd, 2018, last year, so about 7 months in the market. We did our raises at a quarter. Nothing is being withheld. Every shareholder in that private placement has free trading, and I think we're hovering between 29 cents and 33, and it's been like that for about 60 days now. So we're above what our PP is, and no selling pressure or whatnot on there. So our reason for going public was speed to market. So we could raise the funds privately, but we couldn't have raised the amount of funds that we did to get to speed to market, to have all these platforms in market ready for today. Any other questions? Well, our booth is just out here. If you guys have any questions, please come see us. We'd love to have a chat with you guys and talk a little bit more about the company. Thank you.